We have to have that expression.
On a wicket where there's not much spin, Nikhil's been hit by a googly.
Yes.
Indeed. We have to have that expression.
Extra efficient.
Yes,
Today,
indeed.
Pawan he is batting much quicker than either England or India batted in this test match so far.
Even quicker than Rishabh Pant.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone else has given up on baseball. Our producer is extra vigilant and extra on the front foot in this. Anyway, it is the end of day 2. India at 145 for 3, still trailing by 242 runs, but they still have 7 wickets in hand. They've lost 3 wickets, starting with Yashasvi Jaiswal, and then you had Karun, Nair, and then the captain in Shubman Gill. As we were sitting in a very precarious position at the end of day 1, where there could have been a debate as to which team had really dominated and opinions were split. I think after 2 days of test match, we still find ourselves in a similar position where we may have different opinion, but overall in the larger scheme of things, I think you really are sitting on a test match that's interesting, that's kept everyone's interest alive, that is telling you that it can be headed to any particular way. There could be one team that may be ahead of the other at the moment, but there is no team that is sitting in a comfortable position to say that, that's it, this test match is ours. So it's still an open test match. Any team, a couple of good sessions, and it can really turn it around. Let's start with you want to start with India's bowling at the start of the day, or let's start the other way around and India's batting, because that's the recent thing that we've just
The batting's just come fresh off the oven.
Okay.
Yep. KL yet again showing his class at Lords. Classy, if you may have to look at it. K spelled with KL, not CL. Because KL Rahul yet again showed grit after overcoming the initial struggles, because he did have a lot of...
Sorry, because you said classy, and I thought of it, it just slipped out of my mind. Before we even dive into the discussion, a big up to the Italian cricket team.
Forza Italia!
I mean, mamma mia, who would have thought that Italy, the land of pasta and pizza, is going to be
the land of the OG Azuri.
Yeah, I mean, which is something that I just put on Twitter. I said, tell me it's Armageddon without telling me it's Armageddon. That Italy are yet to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Italy have not qualified for the last 2 FIFA World Cup, and Italy have qualified for the 2026 Cricket World Cup. Can you believe that?
Can you believe that? It was actually...
Global warming is real, or whatever. The world is changing.
2025 is indeed a season of firsts, a year of firsts.
Joe Burns, who never got to play a Cricket World Cup for Australia, is now probably going to lead Italy in that 2026 T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka.
But actually, don't be fooled by the scorecard. It was actually a close affair. Netherlands chased it down in
16-17 overs.
Imagine if they had chased it down to 10. Italy's net run rate would have dipped below Jersey.
No, but my point is, Netherlands still has a pedigree in cricket. They've been part of World Cups before, even at the 50 over level, T20 level. So that's a country with pedigree. Italy qualifying for a cricket World Cup. I mean, though to be fair, it's made up of expats only. They're all from cricket playing nations. So before we get excited thinking the true blue Italians have come together and created a team and qualified for the Cricket World Cup, that is yet to happen. It may happen in the future, who knows. As of now, it has followed the similar script of a lot of other countries like Canada, US, and so on and so forth.
Just to add to that point of you saying that it's a team filled of expats, 100% true. I was reading about where most of the expats are settled also happens to be the same province, and the mayor of that province in fact was strictly against cricket. And not too long back did she go ahead and say that, listen, we cannot have people playing cricket over here because that's destroying our culture and identity.
Oh God.
Take that.
Yep.
Take that. But just to remind that mayor, I don't know if she knows the history of Italy, their most iconic football club is AC Milan. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, AC Milan started off as a cricket and football club. It wasn't just a football club because it was started by British expats. Yes. So they came here and they started AC Milan. And you know, both football and cricket are British sports. I mean, originated in England. So they started a cricket and a football club. But that's another thing that Italians only took to football. So to be fair, nothing is their own. I'm just reminding the mayor. Both sports are foreign. As in both came from England. Yeah, they fell in love with one and continued to excel in that, winning World Cups and having a very robust football league and creating legends. That's another thing. They could have very well gone with, cricket as well. But for her to say it's destroying our culture, even football that way they adopted, right?
Yeah.
Somebody
Even
else's sport.
racing, for that matter, racing originated in England. It was Ascari and Ferrari who ensured that, okay, they push Italian racing to another level altogether. Alberto Ascari in particular, he was your first major when you look at world champion. And all Italy's racing is because of Ascari and later on Enzo Ferrari when he stepped on into the scheme. So yeah, even that's also adopted. That's not destroying Italian culture or something, but yes, Italy's cricket team are going to make a trip to India and Sri Lanka in February, March of 2026.
Fair to say that this World Cup already has a layer of cheese on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I mean, cheese, wine, pasta, pizza. That's
All
popular
things
for
good.
so many.
Yeah. All things
We
good.
have to last 1 hour. Don't go on this gourmet cuisine, please.
Okay, sorry. Getting back to where we are, we were discussing, India's performance and where this test match is. So we're starting with India's batting performance. Sorry, Siddharth.
Classy KL Rahul.
Classy with a KL, not CL. And indeed, he showed that grit is what you need on this wicket. I mean, you saw stroke makers like Jaiswal, Shubman Gill all fall. Good plans though by England. They had planned the wickets pretty well. The field was in the right place, disciplined bowling. And again, you look at it, they didn't allow India to get away. KL was looking good. Karun was looking good. Had survived immediately. First ball on resumption after the tea break. But I think the shake of the head kind of notified that perhaps the ice has gotten thinner. Rishabh Pant battling an injury. He is in visible pain, and that will be the focus for most of the thing in the dugout in this post-match. But KL, all hopes on India staying afloat are now pinned on him, and he's responded admirably, if I may have to add.
Okay, we'll break it down. India's batting. Let's start with the three dismissals, and we'll address them one by one. Before I get to Karun Nair, because we'll dwell into what the future holds for him. Let's talk about Yashasvi and Shubman Gill. I mean, I hate to say it, but this is pretty much what we had envisioned for this Indian team. I think all of us were in agreement that the one batter to watch out for India and who's going to be very crucial and alongside whom this innings is going to be built will be KL Rahul, and it is indeed turning out to be like that. So he's proven to be that guy. And the other thing that I'd mentioned that I'm looking forward to is a Yashasvi Jaiswal and a Shubman Gill on this pitch. Taking nothing away from them, they've had a good series, but the only question mark they came with to England was their technique in conditions where the ball tends to do some sort of lateral movement. And so this is going to be that first test match. And so that is why we were watching it with great interest. And it just so turns out both really haven't kicked off the way they did in the previous test matches. So let's talk about Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill for that matter. Is it a surprise? You expected this? You expected something better?
I think obviously I expected something better from Jaiswal. The point is that, sometimes when you get off to that kind of a blistering start that he had, against Chris Wokes, sometimes you do tend to play at almost anything and everything. That Jofra Archer ball on which he got dismissed, we discussed about it in the tea session also, that he could have probably left it alone. And that's something that...
But we also said it wasn't easy. It's very easy to say could have left it, but that delivery was also outstanding.
It was late swing.
No,
He
absolutely.
couldn't have done anything about it.
Absolutely. The point is that there's this case of art of leaving. And that's what, Joe Root and maybe, a couple of England batters did pretty well. And that's why they're sitting pretty at 387. The only point here is that sometimes, if you can be a little more patient, then your scorecard can actually read a lot different. And that's something in Yashasvi Jaiswal that I felt that ever since from the Border Gavaskar Trophy, ever since where the conditions were pretty much challenging, let's say, in Adelaide or maybe going to Sydney also, wherein, it wasn't really easy for any of the batters. Sometimes being a little patient can reap you those kind of rewards. And that's in case of Jaiswal, that wasn't the case this time around.
I think you've been too harsh on Jaiswal. He got a good ball. And any which way you look at it, it was late swing, middle and leg, around the middle and leg straight, you never leave a ball. If I know the bounce factor you take into account, but on instinct, you don't leave a ball that is on middle and leg.
See, the point is that for a batter like Jaiswal, I always recall that instance when Sachin Tendulkar, I think, told something to Virendra Sehwag, although it was an ODI match. So it was like, you just see the bowler for 2 overs and then he's going to see you for the remaining 48 overs. So obviously it's a different ball game altogether, different format, different conditions, testing conditions for the first time in the series. I think if you continue to leave a few balls for the first few overs, then I think on this kind of a track, you would win that mental battle against the likes of Jofra Archer and company.
I would agree with you if that ball was outside off, it had moved away and he chased after it. I can agree with that. But this, you had to play at it because the length wasn't short enough to duck. It wasn't that straight enough that you could leave it on height alone. Because this was the pavilion where, this is the same end where Jofra actually gets late movement. You saw it.
Before he got dismissed, there was a delivery on which, Jaiswal, he tried to slash him through covers and then it almost missed his outside edge to Jofra Archer. What I'm trying to say is that could have been an indication wherein Jaiswal could have probably told himself, okay, let's just be a little bit more patient here and then see, runs will come later.
See, England have been bowling to a plan because the type of shot that has always gotten Jaiswal in trouble in England, have a close look at all his innings in England so far. Yeah. It's been trying to go for the cut shot. The cut shot has been the most common mode of dismissal Jaiswal has tried, but it's not worked for him. He's gotten runs streakily, he's gotten runs, but he's also gotten dismissed by it. Again, because it was middle, it swung away late, Jaiswal had to play for it. And the bounce wasn't like it was here. It was right here, close to the pads. Had he left it, he could have been out shouldering arms LBW. Also, no stroke offered. So, it's not surprising that this has happened because Jaiswal, when you look at Australia, had a duck, then later on came back, scored cheaply, again came back. So that is why I think Jaiswal will have these ups and downs, but not such a frequent down. I'm not surprised by the way how he got out. It was a very good ball from Jofra Archer.
I mean, without getting into just this mode of dismissal, and I'm going to club both Shubman Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal, there's a reason why I was keen to watch them play, is because there is a question mark over them in these conditions, right? And I'm afraid that what I have seen from the two of them, they've not helped answer any of those questions. Yes. So while we can debate it's a good ball, not a good ball, should he have left it, not left it, and valid arguments. My point is that the jury is still out. So I haven't got a definite answer as to have they really, figured out a way to bat in these conditions. And I think that question mark will remain unless I see two very good innings on these conditions. Now, look at Yashasvi, for example. He scored in BGT. He scored a lot in India. He scored in the first 2 test matches that you played in England. But these were all good batting conditions where you got good bounce, good pace on the pitch, coming onto the bat. That's the kind of conditions where he can play his horizontal bat shots, whether these are cut shots or, which he really enjoys outside the off stump. These work because the ball comes onto the bat. It's when, as I said, there is some movement in the air, which you've only seen him go through twice. Once in South Africa, those 2 test matches, and now here for the very first time in England. In Australia also, you don't get those kind of conditions. So, and in all those situations, you've been found wanting. That's not to say that this is just sort of a final verdict on him. I'm sure he's still young and he gets better, and all it takes is 1 or 2 innings here and there in these conditions to lay all the doubts. But my point is that we need to look at him differently in 2 different conditions. So when we say Yashasvi Jaiswal, we talk about the young Yashasvi Jaiswal, who is the future of Indian batting, dare I even say future of international batting, where a lot of people are rating him very highly. But we must also remember that when we judge a Yashasvi Jaiswal, we need to judge him slightly different in these conditions, and once again he was found wanting there. Cut to Shubman, similar thing. And remember, this one issue that he always had is that ball coming in. He was a candidate for either bowled or leg before. I think England came with that plan. They were bowling exactly that to him. And to be fair to Shubman, I think he did very well.
He's worked on it.
Yeah, he's worked on that clearly. So he had that technique, covering it. But the thing is, eventually he gave in to that same plan. That outside edge, that mild edge that Chris Wokes got of him, also has come through a similar dismissal where they're trying to get the ball in. Either it'll be bowled like before, or just holds its line and then a catch is taken. So once again, it's the same thing. So for both these players, there is this one albatross across their necks which they really have to sort out. The only thing I would find England guilty of, I think they were too obsessed with that straight line to Shubman. And I think this is something that England will work on, and I'm looking from England's point of view, that while you knew that was his weakness, you continue to bowl there. Everyone was trying to be too straight. That technique works when you are going to use it as a prize weapon, when you keep bowling outside the off stump and once in a while get the ball in where he's susceptible. Now this is like you showing a hand, and I think England showed their hand saying, this is what we're going to do, you'll keep doing it. So I think Gill was pretty prepared that this is what they're going to do. They did not bring about that variation of trying to get him to, play a few deliveries outside and then bring run in, or as a surprise weapon. I think England were guilty of bowling too straight, and I will include Wokes in that. I think he's picked up a wicket, but overall for someone who's carries so much experience, he should have known better. I think even Carse, as well as to an extent even Ben Stokes, were guilty of bowling too straight. So I think both Shubman and Yashasvi, and maybe that's the reason when we were assessing the match, we were probably saying, when they were at 300 or 320, which doesn't seem like a humongous total, the reason you were still putting England slightly ahead, because you knew that some of your informed batters still have to answer this question of getting runs in these conditions. And once again, they've not.
I mean, if I have to just sum up Nikhil's thing, yes, Yashasvi Jaiswal, when conditions are very spicy. South Africa, those 2 tests. Adelaide, ping ball. He didn't, although he did try be aggressive, but he couldn't be aggressive. Sydney.
Sydney was tough for almost everybody except Rishabh Pant.
Yeah. So even there, opening, especially the opening. Middle order, you can somehow weather that storm and the top order has taken the hit, middle order can capitalize. But then Sydney was also very spicy deck. He didn't do well in 2 innings. Here, 1 innings. Yes, somewhere down the line, he will have to ensure that he gets his seeming conditions average and stats much better going forward, because you're going to get 2 very tough tests in New Zealand. That's not going to be easy.
And that's why it takes me to that point. And I know this is a test match that's still remaining and India can emerge victorious. But the point is exactly that. Look at it from England's point of view. When you knew that this was going to be a problem, what did you do? You served up 2 featherbeds to begin the series with. These same batters who would have been much more circumspect and careful when they started the series, rather than now where they're still carrying a lot of confidence or a lot of runs, 600 for Shubman, and Yashasvi also got 100. And you didn't start the series like that. So it just then baffles you that what is it that England were thinking to pay. It's great for India that you've given them confidence, and for all you know, this is the confidence that might be needed even to get runs in these spicy conditions. But imagine if England started the series like
it. It
that.
is kind of like 2014, but also not kind of like 2014. I'll tell you why. 2014 Trent Bridge, featherbed, everybody came into form. 14, England tried serving up a green deck, but their batters fell headfirst into that trap. But then they had a similar kind of a not so sticky wicket, but slightly helpful wickets from Southampton onwards in 2014. And they turned the series around. Old Trafford was an absolute minefield for swing. Oval, by that time, India was so demoralized that they just couldn't make it. So I think it's kind of reaching that stage. Not 2014, but also kind of similar to 2014.
Don't know how the pitches are going to be going forward, but all I'm saying is that for the very first time in the series, we are seeing a pitch which is closer to English conditions. And apart from the movement, see, the run scoring is also not easy. Even your stroke makers are now, and you saw that with England, and we were very quick to talk about where is the baseball, and the Indian team also spoke about it, boring cricket, this, that, whatever. But as even when they're batting, they're realizing that the best way, and it's good, I'm not blaming the Indian team, I think it's sensible cricket, that they're playing the conditions, they're playing sensibly, that's why they're still in the game. Who knows, if they continue to apply themselves like this and playing good cricket, they might even take a lead. I mean, it's far off right now, but at least the approach is right. So good on them, but it's giving you an idea of how this pitch is, which is why I'm saying when we sit and discuss which team is ahead, we will have to, unlike the previous test match where, you know, even 2 sessions were good enough to get 400 odd runs. Now we'll have to look at it differently because you've finished 2 days and you've not finished, you know, not even close to finishing the first innings of both teams. So, I mean, India, as they're sitting here, would like to bat 2 to 3 sessions tomorrow as well. I mean, if not 3, at least two sessions minimum, they would want to. And so you will be in day 3 where the first innings are going to be getting done. So we must keep that in mind with the pace that this test match is moving, that for anyone, any team to force a result, you'll have to
come up with something special.
with the ball. You'll have to, you'll have to pick up some quick wickets.
But just my 2 cents on the 2 batters we're talking about. Yashasvi Jaiswal leaves me with far more questions than a Shubman Gill. Of course, both leave me with more in terms of runs, me wanting to see more runs from both of them. But why I say less question marks on a Shubman Gill as compared to a Yashasvi Jaiswal, because I saw the resolve to stay in the middle, and that came from the Indian captain much more than a Yashasvi Jaiswal, who seemed to be a man in a hurry, but that's fine. He got all those looseners as well, and you know, if I were a batter, I would be tempted to hit all those boundaries as well. But since that point about that dismissal came up, I think it was a good ball, and oftentimes you just cannot get out of the way. It was directed very much at the batter and then shaped away, very difficult for you to be not edging it. So yeah, he got hard done by. It was a good delivery, but as a matter of fact, you haven't passed the test. Neither is Shubman Gill, but what Shubman Gill has presented is, he's presented a case wherein he's shown the resolve and he's shown the desire to spend time in the middle. Too bad for England.
And he looked good.
Yes.
And he looked good.
Too bad for England that they couldn't think out of the box, and you have to give it to the batter. It's not a strategy they adopted or overly adopted the first time in this test match. You look at Leeds, you look at Edgbaston, both times they were trying to look for that Shubman Gill gate, and maybe it was only a gate that could be exploited more by specialist swing bowlers like the likes of an Anderson and a Broad, who could do that much more. Maybe they don't have that quality, but clearly they wanted that imprint to be successful yet again, and they haven't been able to replicate that. So kudos to Shubman Gill for having worked. We talk about batters not working enough on their weaknesses. For the longest time, Shreyas Iyer wasn't. He put it on us as media people to have built this theory that, build this whole thing that you are the ones who said that, it's a short ball, no problem. But we saw him get dismissed on more than a couple of occasions. But we've also heaped praise, as the Champions Trophy was proof that teams try to bounce him out, but they weren't able to, barring an occasion here or there, or in the IPL also for that matter. So kudos to Shubman Gill for showing adaptation, the learning curve you want to see in young batters. For a 25-year-old Gill, you've seen that happen. But yes, the runs still need to come. A 16 of 44 shows resolve to me, and he looked good with the forward press. The way that he was defending, that forward defense looked nice. But if that ball's just shaping away a bit or straightening, as was the case in that Chris Woakes delivery, this is where you learn from somebody like a KL Rahul, who's showing good adaptation, and he knows if he's not going to be getting in line with the ball, then he's ensuring that the bat's sticking right to his body or his pad. So he's playing very compact in a very compact manner and playing very close to his body. That is something that he will have to add to his game as well.
Okay, Karun Nair, the elephant in the room.
The ice is getting thinner.
Wasted opportunity.
Yes.
40 of 62, he was looking.
I'm wondering
very
if
good
we'll have a
for
minority opinion here.
So why are you not discussing the delivery that got him out? Just as you discussed.
It was a good
Yashasvi's
catch, but I think it was a loose stroke. Because see, it was outside off. He chased after it, and even in one of the previous test matches, he was streaky. Edges went. He again edged, and he lost his wicket at that point in time. Here, he had survived one major scare, first delivery after the resumption. And that was a sign. Boss, anything outside off stump? The same thing. Leaving. I was wondering whether you had mixed up Yashasvi Jaiswal or Karun Nair. This was apt for Karun Nair. He had to leave.
It was
that
also
delivery.
a very tough corridor, that where he nicks it. I know you could have
He
left
has
it.
gotten out like this multiple times this
Correct.
series now. That's
and
the point.
unfortunately, it is a very slow progression. 20s, he was nervous. Now I'm 31, 40, again he's out. Next innings of 50, then he'll get out. Now the ice is getting thinner and thinner for Karun Nair. And if he doesn't do well in the fourth innings, and undoubtedly that's the toughest time when India will be batting. I don't know on what day and what session will they be batting in, but I think the second comeback will end after Lords if he doesn't do well in the fourth innings.
The more I see Karun Nair's dismissals in the first 3 matches now, the more I feel as to what wrong Sai Sudarshan has done to not be a part of this playing 11.
And the expression spoke when he was shaking his head. He was like, "I have blown it." It was clear.
No, they were shaking earlier also. But as Sai Sudarshan also funny, he's only played 1 test match. So it's not that you've got Don Bradman sitting and it's unfortunate
Absolutely
that
not.
Bradman is sitting.
But he
and
did not even
Karun
deserve to sit out of any of the remaining.
Yeah, but it's not that in that 1 test match he played, he got you 100 and so you're saying is it. I mean, yeah, the travesty is someone who's got 100 like a Sarfraz not playing
Abhimanyu Ishwaran?
or Abhimanyu
Well, yeah.
Ishwaran who has a 50 average.
The only thing that can save Karun Nair is if India win this test match.
No, I don't think that will be enough to
That's
save
No,
him.
I agree with him. I think
Yes.
it'll depend a lot on what happens in this test match. See, if India win this test match and depending it is not a very high scoring test match, then things like 40 and all also become essential. Now let's see how much India get and how much others get. If overall everyone is chipping in with 30, 40, 30, 40 and you get close to England's total, which is a possibility, with one high score of let's say a KL Rahul, I think then you will look at this 40 very differently, and we don't know how the second inning will pan out, but I guess if India do win this test match, then I guess it goes a long way in ensuring that you maintain continuity in that. But again, I think it's still early days to make a call. Our judgment will also change depending on how the match is going.
Yeah.
Sitting here day 4, we'd be
He's the second highest scorer for India right now.
for now. Yeah.
See, in all likelihood, it does appear he'll finish as the 3rd or the 4th highest.
Ooh, that's not looking
Saying
very
much.
good for
Exactly, for India.
But it can still be good. I'll tell you how.
Because
if a KL gets 130,
and others
and
get
he's-
about 30, 40, 30, 40, and then you'll
Then
end
you'll
up
get around
trailing by
350.
20 odd runs or
Yeah.
30 odd runs, because
Correct.
it does appear that kind of wicket where runs are going to be very difficult to score, but it also doesn't look like that potent and that lethal wicket where first ball you're gone. It doesn't look like that kind of a wicket as well. So I do see the lower order contributing in some manner. But overall, if we speak regardless of the result, I agree with Siddharth, and I don't know if it's to do with sitting with him in close proximity that I'm agreeing with him for the second time. But yeah, I think the ice is getting thinner, and the modes of dismissal aren't pleasing. I'll take you guys back to the previous test match where it was the best batting conditions we were talking about, and what does he do? Foolish delivery. He plays it straight down the throat of Chris Wokes, and he's out 31, and he's out cotton bowled. He didn't move after that. I don't know what he was waiting for. On a couple of occasions, Karun Nair has refused to move. He maybe he's just spending too much time with Ben Stokes in that manner. With Ben Stokes after every dismissal, like he's gotten the ball of the century. But couple of times, Karun Nair has looked absolutely shocked where he shouldn't be. But too many opportunities that he's let go of. These. Today, let's say the conditions were the toughest that he's faced in his previous 4 innings, and I still think he'll be ruining all those opportunities, those 20s and 30s that he got, couldn't convert, especially in the previous match where he looked good to begin with. Today there was half a chance that we saw, but the modes of dismissal, slashing outside of these aren't modes of dismissal of a seasoned player, which is looked at by the populace on the outside, by people on the inside as well. I think that goes against it. We were talking about Rajat Patidar as well. What wasn't helping him in that series was England series was the fact that he was not looking like a man who was well set for all the reputation that he came in with. The modes of dismissal were such that they were just not pleasing to the eye.
Okay, now to the interesting bit. 145 for 3. Where do you think this test match is sitting? Who's more comfortable? Where do you see India finish their first innings? Which team is having a better sleep tonight?
I think it will be still England. I think they are. I will not say they are again gone way ahead of the game because the Indian batting is still until 8. So they have to really work hard for the wickets tomorrow and again.
5 wickets is what
5
they would be
wickets.
gunning. I mean 5, and India know that they have 5 batters who can
Correct.
change the fortune. 2 that are batting in KL and Rishabh Pant, and then Reddy, Jadeja and Sundar.
And that is why first session again. You've seen.
You'll use the C word.
No. You check day 1, you check day 2. Most of the wickets have fallen in the first session.
Okay.
That is why.
So he's authorized to use the C word.
C word.
Crucial.
Crucial.
Because see.
I hope you weren't being imaginative.
No. I mean, you look at England today. I'll just give you what happened 8 hours ago. 271 for 7. First hour of the first session. You look at England 51 for 2. Day 1. First hour, first session.
But that was the brilliance of Jasprit Bumrah.
No, that was Nitish Reddy. Day 1, remember?
No, I'm talking about 8 hours ago you said.
Yeah. That was just see
So, but
by.
they don't have Jasprit Bumrah.
They have an Archer potentially.
He's not a Bumrah.
He isn't by any stretch of the imagination. He isn't.
That
But
was just the brilliance of Bumrah. That's not to say that India should also expect to lose 3 wickets, 4 wickets.
I mean, this is the kind of wicket where it can happen. Because fresh start and you're looking at an Archer and a Carse or a Vokes utilizing the slope well.
Too many times in the series we've seen that every time there's a drinks break or tea's just round the corner or you're coming back from tea, there's been a dismissal every time for both
Look
teams.
at Pope. First ball
No,
after
it didn't
tea.
happen with England this first session. It was, they started off, lost 3 wickets, then they had drinks and all. After that, England didn't lose a wicket for that session.
Yeah, I'm just saying 1 or 2.
You said every time.
Most times.
Yeah, so that is why England are still ahead. And if I look at India's grid, I think England might look at a lead of about just 50-60. It's not going to be 100.
So you think India get to 320-ish?
320, 330-ish.
And so that'll again be India for the second time in the series asking themselves what could have been had we taken our catches.
Catch.
Catches in the overall, you dropped so many catches in the first
No,
test
there's some.
match.
No, earlier.
First test match, so forget, Harshit, it's too far. But talk about this test match.
But
No, one
for the
catch that Jaiswal dropped, one catch that
KL
KL
Rahul.
Rahul.
Yeah.
KL
that
Rahul.
cost you
Jaiswal
40,
as well.
50 runs more.
KL Rahul, I agree.
Yeah. Although he is kind of making it up with the bat.
But this is his primary task as well, na. This though he's bound to do. That also he's bound to
A
do.
lot of people
in-
don't do their primary task also. But
Can you name people here?
we're discussing everyone individually.
So
Okay.
that is why I think England are still, I mean, not overly ahead in the game. I would say it's about 54-46. 54 England, 46 India.
So you think don't think much has changed because even yesterday we were around the same.
Yes.
Okay.
KL is the key. That's why.
KL is
Is the-
key.
Thumb please.
Come please, yes.
KL is
KL
the
is key.
KL is key.
Yeah,
Exactly. KL is Chavi. So yeah.
Yes. Who wants to go next?
I think at the moment it's the hosts that are ahead in this test match. Because run scoring is difficult, so England can tell themselves, okay, they might want to bat tomorrow the whole of the day, but that doesn't mean they'll necessarily be scoring a lot of runs. And they're still, 242 odd runs ahead? Yes. So that's still a lot of runs. And India have only done a quarter of the job till now. So there's so much more that India have to do. And they'll be confident because the Indian tail not
India
work.
have to bat. I reckon because 250 is sort of what you're getting in a day, what England
Yeah,
also got.
yeah.
If you're looking at
253 they
so
managed,
so
right?
for India to, if they don't get dismissed, for them to reach where England have reached, they pretty much have to bat till at least the last 1 hour, half hour of the day.
Yes.
Because if that's the
Absolutely.
pace that you're batting
Yeah.
at, that's like end of day 3 and you would have probably had 1-1.
So
innings.
you need India to be batting till about 9:45, 10 o'clock tomorrow. Just leave the last hour and a half and then maybe you're trailing by about 40 odd runs, 50 runs.
No, if you bat till about 10, then I think you could have
just
taken lead
keeping
as
the
well.
250 run thing in mind. If India are to trail by 40, 50, then you need them
No,
to
you'll
bat
get-
1 hour less, whatever, right? So I feel, and run scoring is not difficult, is very difficult over here. And I know for a fact that once I'm able to, if The way I look at it is the way that India got those quick wickets, Jasprit Bumrah getting those 3 quick wickets. If the same was to happen to India, there'll be lesser resistance. And that's India's Achilles heel, perennial Achilles heel in Test cricket.
No, 3 quick wickets if it happened
So
tomorrow, done.
Exactly. You're on
done.
most days done. Unless, of course, at the very same venue as we saw your tailenders at 50. Bumrah and Shami. So unless that,
But those are different conditions.
Yeah, unless something of that sort happens again. But otherwise, because run scoring is difficult, and I've got nearly about 250 runs under my belt, England will be the ones sleeping better. Percentages, if we are talking in percentages, I think this is more. It's moved a little in favor of England now from 52 that I was saying a couple of hours back. I think now it's about 56 and a half, 57 England.
Okay. So yesterday I said that it's pretty much even Stevens, like England marginally ahead. I feel it's 50-50 now. I don't
Even
think
now?
I still feel that. I think India, with KL and Rishabh Pant at the crease, I think this is probably India's best chance to get like very near to England's total or even surpass it. 2 of your best batters are actually batting as of now.
Can I just come in once again?
Yeah, sure.
The one other reason why I'm giving England more percentage over here is keeping in mind that Rishabh Pant's not fully fit. And clearly
He was in pain.
He was
You
in
could
pain.
make
When
that.
the-
But it didn't show in his batting.
Yes, but I'm just worried with one of the Bashir balls, I think, hitting the toe end of his bat. We all saw him dance up and down, and we know when.
No, he's in pain.
Yeah,
But he's going to get one night's extra rest.
Yes.
That's the
Painkillers.
point.
So, but we've seen, injuries at time they can flare up as well. So we don't know. We hope that the medics department
No,
does it.
nowadays there are magic sprays, this, that, pain-killing injection. One day rest will only do him good.
Yeah, hopefully you hope for exactly that. But I've just kept in mind the fact that Rishabh Pant, I don't know much about. He's looked good. Yeah, he was still going for his scoops and everything. Ramsey was going for. He was falling on the ground, but we also saw him dance up and down. And the ball hit the bottom of the bat. So yeah, that worries me a little bit as well.
I think still 50-50 for me. I think I obviously put England slightly ahead, but that has basically come down because India have had a strong reply. Ideally, I would have wanted 145 for 2 at the end of day's play, but it's still fine. And with KL Rahul still at the crease, I think this is something that we discussed yesterday also, that for England, it's Joe Root, and for India it's going to be KL Rahul. So he's doing his job pretty perfectly. So for me, still 50-50, and crucial session coming up tomorrow. Yeah.
I mean, imagine KL also hitting 100. It's like a repeat of 2021. Root and KL hit centuries in that test match.
But let it not be.
The result should be like what India achieved in that sense.
For me, I think England are firmly ahead. I'll tell you why. Because if you remember, England finished their day one at 250 for 4. And at that time, let's say, Siddharth felt it was 50-50. And now look where England are at them. So India are 145 for 3. So you effectively need to get 100 runs added with just the loss of 1 wicket to reach the 50-50 level that he thought it was yesterday. That's a huge effort. So if I was to take that logic, for me, India are far behind. I mean, I'd say 60-40, in fact, more than 60 to England at the moment, because they've gotten 387 on this pitch, where I thought, 300-ish would have been a par total. So they've gone above that par total. And India have lost their 2 most informed batters in Shubman Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Pant is in pain. We'll see how he comes out tomorrow. But the rest of your batting order, I mean, Jadeja has chipped in, but those are different conditions. Washington Sundar, Nitish Kumar Reddy really haven't come in. So I think it's precarious situation. If there was to be a phase of play where India had to lose 2 wickets, then it's all downhill. And let's not forget, they're still 242 runs behind, which, as I said, England reached with 4 wickets to fall to begin with. So overall, in the scheme of things, I think England better placed. And then I'm looking at the larger test match, where now it is becoming increasingly obvious. It can still change, but the whole assessment that we sat here yesterday, that that local knowledge was telling us that this pitch might deteriorate as the test match goes on. And if that is to be the case, then your first inning total becomes very important. Yeah. So even if India are to concede 10-20 run lead, that's also fine. But you have to be in the range of where England is and not allow them to get too far ahead, because you have the job of chasing. And if it does get up and down and tricky to bat on later, then it's, advantage England. And I think that's the reason why they won the toss and decided to bat a team that loves to chase, but they changed it this time. So I'm putting the entire context together, and I have to say that England are better. That's not to say things can't change, but India need to have an exceptional day 3. By exceptional, you need some of these guys in a Nitish Kumar Reddy, Jadeja, Sundar step up with a good 60, 70 odd, and then KL Rahul to bat for long, whereby you reach or take at least 10-20 run lead, and that will be incredible.
Like we saw in Edgbaston.
Yeah, but the Edgbaston pitch was very different. Now if you get in these conditions, that will be a monumental effort from the Indian team. As I said, the thing with this pitch is, and why Edgbaston and all was different is, let's say if a Rahul was on 53 or Pant was on 30, 40, I know they are set. Now they are going for big. But this is the pitch where you're not really ever set. You can lose your wicket at any point. So I don't know when that situation comes about. So just looking at the conditions and the way it's playing out, I'd say that England would have a nicer sleep, but you never know.
I think in hindsight, what I feel is that Jadeja could have come on to bat at number 5. I think that was still a good option, because then you would have provided, to rest, Rishabh Pant for that matter.
Yeah, could have been a smart
to make
choice.
sure that he, comes out tomorrow with maybe lesser pain, with a couple of injections or more rest. I think that could have been the right move. You could have probably promoted Washington Sundar also, for that matter. That's also not a bad option at all.
Exactly.
But it's not really worked out badly for them.
Yeah.
In the sense he's gone not out.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had lost him, then I guess,
And I think with Rishabh Pant, coming out to bat, one thing maybe that was clear by the medical team to the management, that at least, he's good to go. Like, he can bat. He can probably bear that kind of a pain. And that's why, he came in.
Yep. So, but the only concern is, okay, you may be doing all this, he may not be able to keep, but then the rest of the series, will he be fit? Because then India will need to recalibrate then. If Pant is not there,
you can play him as a batter.
Is there.
Yeah, you play him as a batter then.
Then Jurel he's the only change. But then will he have that same kind of an impact? Because Pant...
No, but he's saying Pant also as a batter, and Jurel comes in the wicket keeper. You might need to, you've anyway said Karun, Nair on thin ice, so you may need to anyway. Who knows?
Then you'll have a new number 3.
But I think that's a worry that India will have much later. I think for now, the bigger headache for them is to be in this test match and not allow England to go.
And we'll have 8 full days between this test match ending and
exactly.
to talk about
because
this.
242 they have to first erase. And then they have to get 100 or 150 run lead.
So then you need India to bat till day 4.
That is it. You are then...
Because you're batting last. Ideally, India, best scenario, take a 50-60 run lead. Take that cushion. But for you to get there, it's going to be a monumental task.
It's not even that kind of a wicket where you can say bat once, bat long. Can't happen. You know that.
Because see, if you get 100 or 100 plus run lead, then England are panicking big time. Because the pitch is going to be even further.
And for that, India need to bat 1 full session on day 4.
That's a long way.
Yeah. Because you're not having any weather problems until end of day 5.
It's expected to be hot throughout this week. Yeah.
And as you bat on and on and on, nerves will frail, your temperament will go, shoulders will sag of the opposition. England, if they are staring at 100-120 run deficit, they have had it. Honestly. But then to get there will be
I think we're jumping the gun right now.
No, it will be very, very, very difficult. Let me be very honest about it.
Okay, before we take your questions, a word on when India were bowling, and the big debate was the change of balls, and Shubman Gill is coming under a lot of criticism, and I mean, we've spent a lot of time discussing about the nature of the ball, and Harshit explained the cowhide as well and how that changes. So without getting into that, but overall, change of ball at the start, and Shubman Gill is getting panned for it.
I mean, unnecessary. They lost focus totally in that. You get any kind of a ball, bowl and move on. bowl and move on. I think
I
unnecessarily.
think
they were
England have
arguing.
been less fussy, even though England also were asking for a ball to be changed. But I don't think they were that obsessed
Exactly.
that they lost sight of what is happening. They kept going to the umpire, beach mein, this is not happening, whatever. But at least they didn't seem frustrated.
And that frustration clearly changed the whole tempo of the day. Because from 271 for 7, yet again the perennial problem of not bowling the tail out cheaply. Last 3 contributed 116 runs. That could make a difference. And they were clearly distracted when, if you had known the rules, umpire has got full control. Boss, I have given you the ball. Just go and bowl. Don't waste time.
By the way, just a clarification on that, because a lot of you are sending messages and saying that, it's Shubman Gill's responsibility, that everything was going well, picked up wicket. He asked the ball to be changed. But as far as I know, and you can check, and I remember watching it, the first change that happened, which happened in the 11th over, was done by the umpires themselves. It wasn't Shubman Gill. I think the umpires, and it is well within the right of the umpires to do that. They made it go through both the thing, and they decided to change that ball. And when that ball got changed, then India got upset that because just before that, Jasprit Bumrah had picked up those 3 wickets. India had picked up those 3 wickets, and the ball was doing. But again, the umpire has the right, if he feels that the ball has changed shape, and then they do through the rings, it has to go through one and doesn't go through one. They did that, and then they change, and then the ball that is changed is also completely dependent on the umpires. They pick the ball which they think is as old as the one that they're replacing in their eyes. I mean, there could be a slight difference here and there. People can disagree, but the fielding team has no say. Fielding team has a say when they're picking a new ball to start with. So as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, as far as I know, the first change happened because the umpires asked for it. India were upset, and then they kept complaining about the change ball and kept going to the umpire. The umpire said, can't do anything. This is fine. You have to play with it. They went some 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Eventually, the umpires gave up, and then they changed that ball as well. So it was changed twice on day 2. One on the insistence of Captain Shubman Gill and the rest of the team, and one happened because the umpires did it. At least that's how I saw it. Because a lot of people saying that even the first time it got changed because Shubman Gill wanted it changed. I didn't see that happening. And why would a Shubman Gill want that?
Why would he protest and he wanted it changed?
Yeah, correct, exactly. And why would he get a ball change which was picking him wickets?
Exactly. So rule 4.5, simple. Umpires only have the control to change the ball, and they have to select a ball which is comparable to the wear. Comparable is the operative word. You will never ever get a like for like wear and tear of the ball that you get. It's impossible. So whatever it is, umpires have the final say. You get the ball, go and bowl. Simple.
And and I agree that each ball is very different, and some may swing very differently to others. They may look the same, maybe the same batch, of course the same company, but each of it can behave differently. I think teams also need to accept it. Like, we can keep arguing about it before the game, after the game. Dukes is not doing this is not doing that. But then that's the luck of the draw. It's pretty much like it happens in cricket. You have no control over toss. Whoever wins, you get put into bat in bad conditions. You take it. No, it's part of the game. Sometimes the pitch changes its nature when you're batting, and when the other team, you take it. Sometimes clouds come when you're batting and it's sunny when you're bowling. You take it. So just take the ball like that.
I would like to remind our Indian cricket fans, the Indian team should have been very upset if the umpire had done a 2006 like incident, that what they did with Pakistan at the Oval, ball tampering. What happened was, the umpire gave the choice of the ball only to the batting side, not to the fielding side. And then they did this, 5 penalty runs. Without even telling Inzamam ul Haq, the umpires had accused Pakistan of cheating and ball tampering. Now, here umpire did 2 very important things. That's the finer detail. They informed the batting side, but they also informed the fielding side that, look, it's gone through the gauge. This ball can't be used. Simple. So that is why umpires did what was told to them in Rule 4.5 of the playing conditions when it comes to change of ball. It came under normal circumstances of use. So that is why India and all of them, they don't have the thing to stand on that. Why did they argue? And it's not been only this test. It's been happening every test. So,
Get on with it.
but the quality of the ball, what's going
Yeah,
wrong
but
with the quality
that's
of
a
the
battle
ball?
you can fight parallelly. But you
yes.
can't be so obsessed with it and occupied with it that you lose the job. As I said, England also have been upset and they were also complaining. But I think when they were bowling, it didn't seem they were obsessed with that. They would keep raising that complaint. And I think Ben Stokes has also said it in press conferences. That's fine. But they've not allowed that to, get them off the track in terms of execution on the field with the ball.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Ashish there. Dukes looks like made in China. कोई warranty नहीं है.
No, Ashish, can I be honest? Now Chinese product, I'm just generally, earlier we used to make fun, but now Chinese products have become very reliable as well. Look at their phones, look at their cars, everything. Yeah, they are competing with the best in the world. I mean, at one point that used to be the thing, because to cut costs they would just produce in bulk and they would not work, like lights and things like that. But now, even in terms of quality goods, they've upped the game.
Yeah. They have.
You saw that video that went viral, na? That all the big Chanel and Gucci bags and all made there only.
Everyone saw that. Yeah.
Made for like 1/100th the cost and sold, saying Italian, since it's the Italian flavor today, Italian leather and whatever it's sold as, all made there.
I mean, most of, if I may remember, all the COVID equipment all over the world, 99% of it, I think the monopoly was China. The masks and everything, they all came from China. So. Rakesh Bhushan, Gill.
With a song.
Oh. दिल गलती कर बैठा है गिल दिल बोल हमारा इंडिया क्या होगा.
अच्छा.
It's a song, yeah.
It's a song.
You don't know that our in-house Bollywood expert.
He is the in-house Bollywood, our producer Pawan.
I know you also. He doesn't remember dialogues.
I don't
like
remember the tune.
He claims that he does not watch Bollywood movies.
Not
doesn't
this-
watch.
in this
Yeah.
current era, I don't
He
watch.
knows some obscure Sunil Shetty film that I've never heard of, and he knows the dialogue.
He told me about a Mithun movie that
I mean,
he was
every
taking.
movie.
I mean, I'm imagining the
Kasam,
tragedy.
dash, dash,
I know,
dash.
I know. But the promo for the series, yeah. I'm imagining this tragedy. I mean, we all think about the 90s as West Indies being the superpower, right? In one film, Akshay Kumar and Sunil Shetty are fighting that India will win or West Indies will win.
He's like, my
Imagine.
80s,
remembers.
90s were doomed because of the poor Bollywood movies. The poor was not the word that he used.
They were.
But when nobody
Corny.
forced you to watch it. Now you could have read books instead.
Ouch.
You didn't have to watch them.
There was no other
blame
way
it.
to escape this doom and gloom that was the 90s. In that sense. If it was so bad, it was good.
Okay, Rakesh Bhushan wants to know, Nikhil, what is easy, leaving the ball on line or length? Does Indian batter good at these two? In England, you have to leave more than you play. In such conditions, Indian batters have a huge question mark. Yeah, I mean, that's what I pointed out, that we tend to always look at line as a yardstick to be leaving a ball. That, it was wide, why did you touch it? But good batters, and especially in overseas center conditions, good batters leave on length as well. And that's a sign. I mean, I gave an example when we were talking about what Yashasvi could have done. I know it's easier said than done. It was a good delivery and all that. But one of the good levers of the ball in the current scenario is a KL Rahul, who leaves on length as well, oftentimes. So it may be on, and that's a tough skill because you have to trust the bounce and it's in your line, and yet have the instinct to leave. And especially a lot of these are T20 batters who are used to see the ball and attack with your hands. The hand-eye coordination is that. And then to develop this other muscle memory and shift between these two is not easy. It's quite tough. But then some players do it
Karnataka
better
batter
than the
leaving
other.
the ball well. Where have we heard that before?
Yeah.
It's in the name, my friend.
It is in the name.
That reminds me, I was watching this again, it came in a reel, must have been a long format show where Bumble and Vaughan and all were discussing top 5 India batters. And then Bumble picked his top 5, forget in which order. And then this top 5 is done. he's picked Azhar and Lakshman, Gavaskar, Tendulkar, Virat. I think this is his thing. Anyway, and then this Phil Tufnell, and he's like, maybe we're missing someone, maybe this. And then Cook is there, and Cook's like, what about Dravid? And Bumble goes, no, he doesn't make my top 5. I felt like, like if I could take my hands inside the screen and catch hold of his neck. Nothing against an Azhar, and by the way, I'm the biggest fan of VVS Lakshman and Azhar. I've often said that when I was in school and college, I would try to imitate these two players, both from Hyderabad, if you remember that discussion. So nothing against them. But if someone makes a list and puts them ahead of a Rahul Dravid, I'm catching hold of their neck and
I think there
squeezing
was
it.
Flintoff as well in that episode?
No, Flintoff wasn't there in that. No.
Okay.
I'm squeezing it.
Yeah.
Really squeezing it. Like if Dravid doesn't make your
his
top
opinion
5.
does not matter. It's as simple as that.
No,
I'm offended. Seriously,
exactly.
I'm offended.
If Rahul Dravid
Does not
doesn't
have
make your
Rahul
top 5
Dravid.
Indian test batters, then you deserve to be killed. But anyway, so why I got that, because we were talking about leaving and how and Bumble's explanation is like, how can you not have, and his explanation, no, he was too block and I was like, that's test cricket, isn't it?
Block and almost 12,000 runs in Test cricket. Nah?
I think he's played the most balls ever in the history of Test cricket with over 30,000.
And can I give, it's very unfair to judge Rahul Dravid just purely on numbers, because his impact in winning games and tough games and saving games is humongous. So you don't only have to go through, if you've seen his career, then you realize his importance and how crucial he was in crucial times. And you don't have him in.
I think we talk about impact. Who did India turn up to after 2011 World Cup when they were struggling pathetically in ODIs? Rahul Dravid was brought back. 2009 he was once again brought back into the ODI fold for the Champions Trophy. Why? Because you could not play the short deliveries. You were struggling against swing bowling. The fitness of Sachin Tendulkar was a bit dodgy. The openers weren't performing. Virender Sehwag had the shoulder injury. Who do you turn up to? You bring back Rahul Dravid. Then you dropped him after a couple of tournaments. 2011, what happens, just ahead of the England tour? That Rahul Dravid, he does well in West Indies, does well in Test cricket. Test matches scored those 300s. Tendulkar injured, Sehwag injured, Gambhir injured. You had Rahane and Parthiv Patel opening. Who do you turn up to for experience? Rahul Dravid.
It's, as I said, blasphemous to not have him. And for this opinion, when I saw it, as upset I was, it reinstated my belief that having played cricket at the highest level is no guarantee in having a sound cricketing opinion. I always felt like that. There's no, you could be like the best player of your time as well. Not to say that Bumble was, but I'm just saying that, but he did play at the highest level. But that is no guarantee that you have a sound opinion about that sport.
Indeed. Dark Knight is saying, this series will be decided on catching of 2 teams. Indian catching too poor, England a lot better. Catches cost first test, catching will cost this match too. That Jamie Smith drop could hurt them. It cost you 40 additional runs in that sense.
But as I said earlier as well, taking nothing away from the knock that Jamie Smith played and not finding an excuse to cover up what KL Rahul did, I think that is a catch he should have been taken. But I think, as we mentioned earlier, the pitch on day one was a bit sluggish, so the slip fielders were guilty of not standing close. And then the second day it had some zip, and then they stood closer and really hurried onto him, that one. But again, no excuse, he should have taken that, 100%.
Rakesh Bhushan has a comment that Sunny Gavaskar used to watch bouncer till the ball reached the wicketkeeper. He used to sway away last moment, had lots of patience and waited for bowler to bowl on his strong areas. These Indian batters don't seem to have patience, courtesy T20.
But then they are also the products of their time. You can't blame them. Mr. Gavaskar didn't have to adapt his game to a T20 format. One day cricket came, but also much later in his career, and it was also still evolving. Again, there's a very different skill that these batters have, and let's not in any way undermine that. As I just said, for them to keep switching between formats is also not easy. And yet they're finding ways. So you still have certain batters who are getting runs in both T20 as well as Tests, and that's incredible. But yeah, somewhere if you're gaining, you will end up losing. No, it's that same ability, right? Where each human has the same ability, but you utilize it differently. And if you have very heightened sense of something, there is a drop in something else. So it just evens out.
Rakesh Bhushan with another one. He says 3 test matches on the trot and test cricket gave him another chance. Will it give him one more chance? How difficult is it to perform with the axe hanging on you from the very first test? Is Jurel coming for the 4th
We already
test match?
answered that.
And Jurel only comes in if Pant is not fit to keep.
Yeah, and we've answered that question. Obviously, a lot of these questions came before our discussion was done. Sharan says, Nikhil bhai, your point is totally valid that Indian batters will struggle on these pitches, so have England batters too. If India could have hold on to those catches, this total was completely different. Agreed, Sharan. Completely agree. And as I said, I mean, this is not, we're not saying that this pitch is like that now. I mean, we said it when we saw it in the first day that this will offer something to the bowlers. And the other thing that I observed on day one, and I still maintain it, I mean, again, there is no, we'll only know towards the end of the test match. I have a feeling that unlike what we've been seeing in Lords, where pitch has gotten better, and we saw it at the WTC final also, here this time the way this pitch has behaved, it will get progressively worse. So batting 4th will be much tougher. That's my assessment. And I think England know this. That's why you see, as I said, the way they batted in the first inning, they put their life on it, knowing fully well that by the time we get the second innings, we may not get these good conditions.
आशीष दर SG to umpire, SG बॉल से खेलते हैं, बैग में. Yeah, SG. I don't know. I mean, going forward, can cricket think of?
But he was using Duke's ball in here only.
Yeah,
So will he be carrying SG balls? Sir? No.
I really don't know. But in going forward, don't you think cricket should have only one universal ball across?
I agree. I agree. But it's going to be tough to reach that consensus.
It's not just about, maybe conditions also are a thing now, because we've seen in Australia, again, you need the Kookaburra because of the way that the seam in, after a
And the
point
nature of the
seam,
wicket is.
Yeah, exactly. The seam takes a lot of beating over there and it sort of flattens out. The Dukes, I think these things have been tried out in the past. They don't last that long over there, the Duke's ball. So
Plus, like bilateral series are completely down to the home boards, and home boards have these arrangements.
Yeah.
So how do you now change that?
while there is of course a lot of money that we're talking about as well, because these are big contracts, whatever, Kookaburra over there, SG over here, Dukes over there, but I think a lot of it is down to conditions also. These things have been tried out in the past. The Dukes doesn't last over there. You need the ball. Why do we say that the Kookaburra is a harder ball? Because there you need the harder ball to be there. Here we heard from SG manufacturers say, I make the ball hard, the bats will get broken and all. So yeah, just can't help it. But ideally, yeah, you need a universal ball.
Yeah.
Pawan Holla saying, ball is 43 overs old. So I don't think it would be much of a threat to India tomorrow first session. First 2 days, it was different due to new ball. He has a point though, yeah. First time you'll be bowling with an older ball.
Because you were saying, no, first session is important.
First session on day 1.
Crucial.
He didn't use that.
Shubham Garg. Nick sir, from where used ball comes from? New batch for changing ball in match. Is it from team practice or from domestic cricket? Please share this.
Oh, that's very interesting. I think it is from practice that they bring this ball. So, I mean, they do give these balls for practice session and then pull them out of practice at different stages and keep it. Because in match balls, you have to go through the full duration of the ball. So, you never get these newish balls that you have. So a lot of them are used in practice and then you keep a batch for it to be used.
Chili Paneer has a comment that India need to score as many runs as possible before the second new ball, which is 37 overs, 37 overs away.
So how many overs have been bowled?
43.
43, yeah. 27, 37 overs, yeah. You're right. 37.
That's what he said.
Sorry. Thought I messed up my math or he messed up his math. That's what I was thinking.
Ram Gautam from the US.
Go down, Pawan.
Don't forget.
Oh,
Come on, Ram Gautam. Coming out these political statements. We're not taking such things. You'll land us into trouble. You'll land us into trouble. Huh? Mr. Shekhar GTN from the US.
Is saying
Evening
that
all-
He's trying to think that we are this naive, that we'll read it and then they'll clip it. They are not as smart.
I love the effort to lay, the try
And
laying the trap.
he tried laying the trap and the name also he tried to mix. Very smart.
Shekhar GTN has a comment that Indian captain's curse at Lords continues.
Barring Ganguly.
Barring Ganguly.
But Ganguly wasn't captain then. He's talking about runs.
Yeah, but 2002.
It was Ganguly
Yeah.
only, yeah.
No, but then he didn't score well when he
I'm
was
saying
captain.
with the bat.
With the bat.
That
Ah,
too,
but
there have
that
been
time
many
he wasn't
captains who
captain.
won.
Yeah, he was playing his first match.
Yeah. That time he wasn't captain.
No, Gavaskar also doesn't have 100 at Lords. Right?
No, I don't think so.
Imagine.
Sachin doesn't have.
Sachin doesn't
of
have.
course. Dravid has, but he wasn't the captain in 2000.
Virat doesn't have.
Okay, last two comments before we wind up. Rajan Rajput says, I think Reddy should play aggressive. But I don't know whether it's. We'll see what the situation is. Rahul says, guys, do a grand preview and review of Wimbledon final between Alcaraz and Sinner and pick your winner. Mine is Alcaraz winning in 5-set thrillers. Okay, Rahul, we'll do a preview and a review for that. If not very long, at least we'll do a crisp one, but we'll do for that. As you know, Alcaraz versus Sinner is the final after Djokovic retired in the match against Sinner. But Sinner was cruising.
6-3, 6-3, 5-4 he was up.
Yeah. So he was cruising. And that being 3-0 down, from there went 5-4 up. So, and he took a medical timeout as well, Djokovic in the middle. Okay. Ashish Chandelier says, final comment, he says, Nigel sir, Bumble stated in that he likes aggressive batters. Even for England, he rates Peterson more than Root and says we'll rate Root only when he surpasses Sachin. He even picked Lara ahead of Sachin. So, by the way, Sachin was no less aggressive than, Lara is my favorite player, but Sachin was no less aggressive. So, these are personal biases. I see no reason, but that's fine. It's his thing. I mean, pick whatever. But it's like if I make the whatever greatest team or whatever, I can't be picking, Ajinkya Rahane is my top 5. I mean, I have reasons he's done well, but I just can't say he's my top 5 greatest Indian batter. And you ask me why? Because Dravid was too slow, I didn't like, so I'm going to remove him. And Sachin, no, he was not as aggressive, so I'm going to remove him. And Gavaskar, no, that cricket, when you opened, I'd remove. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Just by any, I have to have some logic, who I debate with and who I get into the 5. Just, I'll put this one ahead. Then that should be no logic, meri pasand, whatever. But it's like,
It's just
because I am friends with, let's say, Ashish Nehra, so he's the greatest Indian fast bowler. I'll remove Kapil Dev from the list. Can I do that? I can't do that, no?
Yeah, you can't. It defies logic in more ways than one.
Just that.
Yep. So, yeah, action-packed weekend coming up of sports. You've got this test match.
You've got the women's single final tomorrow happening.
Yeah, and in this Sunday, you're going to see the ping ball test match in Australia, West Indies, and Wimbledon men's final. The new age. Indeed, it is the new age.
Once again, yeah.
Alcaraz was a sinner. And
Is this the new rivalry? It is.
It is.
I mean, Alcaraz is 5-0.
By the way, good. Has Djoko played his last Wimbledon because he said this could be my last chance? Earlier he had said.
At French Open, he had
French
said.
Open.
No, here Wimbledon also. He said in one of his initial things.
It looks.
He is not winning his 25th and it's his last.
What's coincided with all his rehab and is the fact that these two have really picked up.
No, this is the second Grand Slam that he's retired. Australian Open also he retired.
No, wasn't he beaten all 3 sets?
No, Australian Open, he retired.
He
midway.
retired,
Quarterfinals,
yes.
yeah.
French he lost straight.
French
he lost straight.
He lost in French. Wimbledon also, his body's not helping him. And I think it's his last year and He may vainly try for US.
I think he's going to come back next year.
But it's sad that
I
you
don't
know,
see
if
him playing French Open. I think it's going to be like picking and choosing tournaments that Roger Federer did,
Federer.
2017-18. I think he'll probably come for Australian Open, does not play French Open, then comes for Wimbledon, and may or may not be.
But what
US
do you guys
Open,
think?
yeah.
Is he getting 25 grand?
I
I think
doubt
no,
it.
he isn't.
I
with
think he
these
is.
with these two around, impossible.
Yeah.
Unless both of them are
He had
injured.
his best chance here. Wimbledon, he had his best chance.
I don't.
Yeah,
so either.
and others are catching up, and he's only aging.
And yeah, even Federer and Nadal, they were able to win those tournaments 2017, 2018 because Djokovic was injured at that time.
And
Na?
he had a wrist injury or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Okay, chalo. You guys take care. Give us a like in the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today. Share it with your friends.
Yes.
And tomorrow is another day. We look forward to your company. Day 3, crucial sessions will be coming up.
Sessions, yep. So bye-bye, Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair. Eat your vegetables. Don't trouble your mother. Stay safe and like, share and subscribe.
There was another earthquake here. How do we say safe?
Third.
No,
When?
second today. No? So, but for viewers, is the first time I'm
Second today?
Yes.
I didn't feel it.
at around 9 o'clock.
Earlier.
8 o'clock. Also. 8.
Was
At 8
it?
o'clock.
So all the more reason for you guys to be
Please then be safe. I
Be
didn't feel
safe.
it.
Yesterday it was there, and
be
today at 8 p.m.
careful.
Oh, I didn't feel it, but yeah, be safe.
You were in office, so you're working hard. None of us.
Wait, 8 o'clock? But we were here.
8:10 we were here.
Oh, yeah.
It happened just before that.
I must have been coming down. I went not.
So between 7:50 and 8, somewhere there, it happened.
Oh.
When you come down, you shake the stairs so much that you wouldn't have realized. And I running. Dar, 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 dar. I can hear that. That's anyway a mini earthquake, so we didn't realize.
Wow.
That's why nobody also
And
raised an
you-
alarm. They thought, oh, this is Siddharth's time to
And
come down.
I hope you remember your promise, the weekend promise.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He's talking about, he promised me that he's going to, get the famous jalebi fafda for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't rain tomorrow. That's
Yeah.
Okay, chalo.
In Lords, na? Even if it rains,
Are
you'll
here.
still get it.
Here. Chalo, bye.
Bye bye.
Good
Take
night.
care. See you.